welcome back Greg Mitchell.
Thank you again. Now I have the honor to introduce a man named Simran Singh. He's the Vice Chair of IRF Secretariat. He's also a businessman, and he's Secretary for International Religious Freedom at Sikh Dharma. But he's a businessman. He was a Senior Vice President at ACAL Security, which was the largest employer of retired American police officers in the world, supporting the U.S. government in over 350 cities and 120 countries. He's a senior fellow at the Dietrich Bonhoeffer Institute in Washington and a fellow at the Royal Society of Arts in London. And again, like I said, he's the Vice Chair of IRF Secretariat, and he started to travel the world with us to help us set up religious freedom roundtables all around the world. So please welcome Simran Singh.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone, for your unbelievable work in this field. I want to contextualize the IRF Roundtable a little bit from the Sikh perspective and talk about what it means to set up the 100 roundtables we're working towards around the world. Sikhs, we're the fifth largest religion in the world. We have about 30,000 temples, but we are a minority in every country we're in, and as you can see, we're a highly visible one. Which it's kind of fun, you always know where you are. But it does make us a target for discrimination. In our faith, we have encoded that it's our job to fight for the freedom of others. But coming to the roundtable, we learned that there is a tremendous group of people, about 700 organizations who are acting as much better Sikhs than we were. You've been fighting for the freedom and protection of everyone, no matter who they are. It was very humbling to join, and I thought I was coming to fight for Sikh issues because, in Afghanistan, the Taliban bombed a Sikh wedding and then bombed the funeral right after. And then our temple in Oak Creek was shot up and seven members of our community there were killed. And in France, we can't, like many of you, we can't wear our articles of faith in driver's licenses or in public jobs, and on and on and on. We get this perspective from all over the world. And so I was sure I was going there to share the Sikh pain, which is problematic for us because we're supposed to be in high spirits. We call it chardi kala. We're supposed to be happy and have our faith in God, and if it's our time to go, it's our time to go. We are supposed to always feel blessed. So I got to the round table, and I saw everybody fighting for Sikh issues, even though there was no Sikh in the room, and I couldn't believe it. Greg Mitchell has been doing this for a decade, month after month after month, getting people together with really the central Sikh tenet, which is to fight for each other. And I started having a lot better time standing with other persecuted groups rather than complaining about our plight. After that Oak Creek shooting, I drove to work in DC. The Pentagon had its flags at half-mast. I turned on the radio. There's a Sikh on the radio talking about who we are. There's about 500,000 of us in the US. And when I got to Starbucks, my coffee was ready when I walked to the register. They knew what I liked, and they knew I was a Sikh, and it was just so humbling. The Roundtable fought for Sikhs in Afghanistan to be able to get a refugee status in the US, in India, and Canada, and England. And I could focus on saying, look, if you let Sikhs and Hindu minorities out of Afghanistan, you have to let the Muslims come too. You can't, the Muslim minorities, you can't just focus on one religious group or the other. It's been unbelievably rewarding to be involved in this. When we opened the roundtable in Guatemala with Pastor Cash, they talked about the American model of religious freedom. And I said, not so fast. Missouri had an extermination order against the Mormons. Not so fast. The US has had its own fight and continues to have its own fight. And then I said, and if anybody messes with the Mormons, the Sikh will be there. And a gentleman stood up and said, we're with the Mormon community, and we just want to say, if anybody messes with any of you, we're going to be here too. And then the rabbi explained the meaning of shalom. And then Pastor Cash cried. The central figure for the incredible evangelical movement in Central and South America sat there. he was really the reason people convened, and he was humbled, and it humbled us. And anyways, I know if there's a Sikh in trouble in Guatemala, I have the chief rabbi will be right there, as will be Pastor Cash, and we'll be there too. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything that you do.